we do have a couple of people signed up. Carlos Vargas, you want to come up? Talking to you specific, especially about the crossover on the highway. So
Yeah, because I mean,
obviously,
sitting in cab, they're always getting theirs fixed.
yeah.
And,
Well,
and without discussion, Mayor, so there are 1-800 numbers on these metal parts, like right over here. There's a 1-800 number there. I know that in the middle of the day, there was a crossing arm issue that I came across right as I was coming to the office, and I called that 1-800 number, and they took care of it pretty quick. So what I'm, you're not talking directly, right? So I'm encouraging people just to bombard that number because that's the only way we're going to get their attention. We've been trying. So
so yeah, just keep calling.
September, you had a total of 41 calls for the month. 23 were in the city limits. 2 of them were out of compliance. That one was by the train, and the other one that they went to an address, and then the address changed, I guess during the dispatch. And then we had 3 that were mutual aids into the city limits that were coming from Fenton. Your primary response time was 6 minutes, 8 seconds for the month of September. And average response time for the secondary response was 15 minutes.
Is there like I know with firefighting, with like firefighting agencies, like full-time, there's like a state mandate, you gotta be, response time has to be within. Do you guys have anything similar to that? Like, what is your required
For
spend?
the first response unit, we have 8 minutes.
Okay, so it's the same, yeah, okay,
For your city limits.
okay.
For the September, you had 18 county calls.
So there's a couple of here that are like 17 minutes, 18 minutes, is,
Those are your county calls.
oh, county calls, oh, okay.
So that, it depends on if they're going to Edroy or wherever they're going.
Okay. Looks like y'all were busy.
And then for the total for third quarter, your city calls, for the total quarter were 83 calls. And the total calls for the third quarter of county calls were 63, which gave you a total of 146 calls total for July, August, and September. Your average city first response time for your city for the quarter was 6 minutes, 1 second. And for the calls in the county for the quarter was 11 minutes, 6 seconds.
Okay. Are y'all having any, I know that last report you gave, there were some issues with addresses, and I mean, are y'all having any issues like that?
They are few and far between.
Okay,
It all depends on the numbering of this, especially in the county. But that's anywhere you go. In the
Right.
county, you're gonna have-
but in the city, you're not, I
In
think,
the city, they haven't reported of having any issues.
Okay.
With numbering.
perfect.
Well, I know here on this one, that's 200 South Front Street. It should have been 220 Front Street because it was my dad. That's how I know that.
Okay.
So, yeah. I
So-
actually do have a question. It being a quarterly report, how come we're only reporting on the month of September?
I send those to the administrator every month. It may have just been the one that got put in.
Just asking.
I can put that together and send it to you.
I was just kind of wondering how come we only get reported on one of the months.
Anybody have any other questions? Yeah? All right. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
you.
Appreciate it. Next up is a quarterly report from the fire department. Chief Beltran's not here, so Captain Garcia, right?
Yeah, so
Maybe.
Rene Garcia,
Rene.
Garcia filling in for Chief O'Connor. He was working in the valley when you call me. So, for the quarter report, for July, we had 8 total calls that were out there. Breakdown was the 8 in the county, 0 in the city. In May, we had 9 total calls. 6 were in the county and 3 within the city. And in June was 7 total calls with 3 in the county, 4 in the city. Right now, we have 14 active members. And then you can see our expense reports, and it's pretty much just fuel. So in July, the expense was $190.26. fuel for August was $173.59, and then fuel for September was 99.26 cents, and then the big thing that you see there is just wildland tools that we spent $1,770.
What is that, Renee? What is that?
The wildland tools, those are like they call flappers. When you go out there, you're just using hand tools, rakes, shovels,
Okay.
the flappers, stuff like that. So when you're doing wildland
Okay, just
firefighting, you
kinda-
can't always get the hose in there. So you use a lot of them. And the flappers are basically, we just pound out
Oh, okay.
the flames.
And that's for like when you guys respond to those
Oh, the
grass
big one.
fires,
Oh,
right?
like-
To those grass
Yeah, they're
fires.
like big flappers.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We've had some, but they were already outdated and kind of dry and
Okay.
cracky, so we replaced those, and then we got some rakes and other tools that we could use for wildland firefighting.
Right. So I was gonna ask Chief Beltran, maybe, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but I would like to see what everybody's training. I'd like to get, some of your members, some training set up. But I need to see what kind of training, who has what training, who's kind of maybe is behind on training or would like to take some training. If maybe they can just reach out to Sal, I mean, and see what training you guys may be lacking or would like to do, so we can kind of get
I
you.
also sit as the training officer, so
Okay.
I could start asking everybody for certifications and stuff.
Yeah, so we can get them, I'd like to get you guys as much training as possible, especially, my biggest worry is now with all these, the new carts that the trains are carrying now that, with these refinery and the steel
Yeah, right
factory
now,
there.
we do not do hazmat.
Yeah.
So all the material that's traveling through the rail cars, if something derails here, we won't be able to
Yeah,
deal with that. We're gonna have to call Annabelle or the city to come out. But
right. Well, it's always a concern to me, when we have, that kind of the different types of material coming through town now, and, making sure that everybody kind of, I know you guys can't really get in there and do the hazmat work, but obviously I know Annabelle would depend on you guys for crowd control, maybe blocking off roads and that kind of stuff. So, I would really like to kind of get you guys as much training as we can.
Okay, I also looked at some stuff that was coming through the TEACs, through A&M. Right now, they're doing free hazmat training as part of a grant.
Okay.
So if they're wanting, they'll send people up to College Station and be able to do that training.
Well, that'd be great. Just get with Sal and see who needs what.
Renee, I think y'all were there at that meeting with a member of the ED that volunteer. What was the name of that outfit that said they do training? Y'all remember that? It's a new outfit in Corpus.
I don't remember, I know it's not off of Saratoga. but
Yeah,
Brent
it's the-
has The name of the
You get
gentleman.
that?
Yeah, I have that information.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, we've reached out to them.
Okay.
They do a lot of training also. They do a lot of hands-on.
okay. You know who that is, Renee?
Yeah, Texas First Responders.
Yeah. I think they're called now. They changed their name now. There's something
Oh,
else,
they
but
have the EMS Academy.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So you know about them, so,
Mhm.
So,
okay, so.
Yeah, but I could also do that training through my company.
Oh, okay.
so,
I just something,
Yeah, we just did a CPR class for the department, so everybody just.
okay, I just something throw out there, okay.
So yeah, just get with Sal and see what we can do to help you guys get some training. I don't know if they need CEUs or what. We can.
Yeah, 'cause training per person is like $2,500.
Yeah.
For the firefighter one training. And that's a week-long class at College Station, and that doesn't include room and board.
All right. So just get with
So
Sal.
that's why, we try to do what we can.
Right. Of course.
When you're looking at 14 guys that, and then a lot of the guys that are with us, there's like 4 or 5 guys that are actually firefighters, and industrial firefighters.
Right.
They're with the ARTs, with the different refineries, so they have all that training.
Yeah. Well, let's just try to do what we can to help you guys out and get some much training.
I saw that, they were doing the hazmat course, but the community certified as hazmat, but we don't have any equipment.
Right. For sure.
Any of that stuff, so it's kind of, we can take it, but we can't apply it, 'cause we don't have any of this stuff.
Right. Sounds Sounds good. Well, appreciate it. Thanks for your report. Well, there's a lot of calls, there's a lot of talk right now with the counties, looking at ESD program and trying to partner up with some cities and maybe even build some new facilities. I think they're considering like even Edroy to be kind of a place for a new station for the ESD. I think so, out in St. Paul, I think is another site that they've looked at, and then the airport. So, if that opportunity does come up, I would like, some of our guys to kind of be involved in that ESD program. And
All right,
so,
I'll let Robert know that.
Yeah.
And then I'll start working on the spreadsheet of all the guys and trainings and stuff that they have.
Okay.
Certifications that they have.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Thanks, Captain. Anything else, guys?
Mayor,
I know Annabelle one time had invited us to go on Tuesdays, to go and train with Annabelle, because Annabelle has a real nice facility. to train.
Yeah, they have
They're all gonna
a
charge-
fire training facility.
Yeah.
And they're all gonna charge Odem for nothing. And those hours will go into get them certified.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if we can reach out to Annabelle and see what they're willing to help also, but let's get a list first.
Yeah, we'll get there. and then
'cause I know you guys have some
go
newer-
out and find out, but we can, we gotta help us sit in on some of their training courses that they have there.
Perfect. Great. Thanks, Captain. Appreciate it.
Anyway,
Questions?
thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
We'll move on to item C, quarterly report from Odem Municipal Court, Judge Morales and Attorney Epi. Be on standby.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. The quarterly report includes July, August, September. I came in September, so I'm not familiar with what transpired in July or August. So if you have any questions in regards to those 2 months, I'm sorry, I won't be able to answer much. The monies collected for the third quarter, the total is 36,745.74, and then it explains how much the city stays and then how much is reported to the state. City stays with 29,720.25, and then it is sent to state is $7,025.49. This is a new report for me. I'm getting familiar with this, and so I don't know if y'all already used in reading it. I will continue adding on to it. I don't know if it can be simplified.
She got a better
I can do
format.
that in the future, or, whatever.
Well, we're open to suggestions, ma'am. If you have a better format that's easier for us to read, or, that you're used to working with, feel free to, get with Sal and let's try to do what we can to.
Okay, I also wanted to, as we know that, the court has been closed for several months, and, our objective is to get it going and get it where it needs to be. We have encountered some problems with the building, and so, we're hoping to address that soon so that we can go ahead and open the doors and start working out of there, because we're going back and forth,
Yes, ma'am.
to City Hall and to the court, unless y'all find somewhere else we can operate out of. The technology was not operating at the time that I went in, and so I contacted the IT person and so, made sure that everything was connected. And so as far as I know, it is running. And, our court clerk, Patricia, has already attended her first conference. And, I'm looking at the roster, to be sending her to other trainings and conferences, in the future. We're already making plans, for other, trainings that she can attend. Also, we're looking into changing software. And so the software that we have right now, I believe that we could do better with the software that the city is on right now, which is with Tyler Technology. And Encode is being utilized by the city, and it's more port friendly. And so I feel that, or I don't feel, I believe that we would be able to benefit a lot more using that software. So Sal and I have been working on getting that software and getting on board with them. And so right now, bringing reports up or drawing reports, right now, I have Patricia working on getting a hold of this software to be able to run these reports, which we have not been able to, but we're working on it. Our prosecutor, F.U. Sassi, and I have been reviewing cases. We worked diligently today, and we had a very productive afternoon. And so we have been reviewing cases in that way. Hopefully by our next report, quarterly report, we'll be able to come and meet with y'all and make some recommendations on some of these cases that
That are outstanding.
Yes, sir.
So is there, Judge and Epi, is there like a statute of limitations on some of these cases that have been outstanding? Whether they're, city ordinance violations or citation?
What-
I mean,
Your statute is 2 years from the date of, I guess, from the infraction, right? You got 2 years to file the case. These cases have been filed, it's just they haven't been prosecuted.
okay,
So then the issue then becomes a speedy trial issue, that would be up to the defendant or the defendant's lawyer to push that.
right.
Uh, But that's what we're gonna run up against, because a lot of these cases are so old that, and then the trouble with those cases also are the officers themselves,
Right.
because they've all moved on and we're not gonna get them back.
So have we made any efforts to try to even collect on some of these cases? I mean,
Yeah.
that are, so
in
we're
fact,
still
so-
working with Lineberger to,
Yeah, in some of these cases that people are calling in, and then Patricia will call me and say, hey, this person called, can you call the lawyer? Can you call them? So I'll reach out and I'll touch base and make them an offer, and they'll, about 90% of them have taken it.
okay,
So then they'll set up a payment plan and get it going like that.
good. Yeah, we can make a reasonable offer to some of these cases, so that we don't have additional litigation that's gonna cost
Right.
us money. We can make a reasonable offer that they can accept. Let's just move forward with some of these older ones and just handle them like that.
Yes, we'll do that.
That's where we're going, that's what we have been discussing, because we need to move on and see where we can come to an agreement with these individuals.
Okay, perfect.
I was looking at the inactive at the very bottom, it's on the second column at the bottom on your left-hand side. These are cases that have, that they don't have any action taken, no judgments or anything like that. So these are cases that Mr. Isasi and I are going to be focusing on to see what is happening with these cases. But as we all are aware,
Are those the cases we're talking about?
these are cases that we have addressed.
That's a lot.
They're
Mhm.
spent, and so, anyway, hopefully, well, our plan, I should say, Mr. Satsi and I, is to, when we come, and it's in April, when we come to give our quarterly, when I come to give the quarterly report, we'll be able to, come with a recommendation. And hopefully this number have reduced some, when I see a number like that, it's not good.
Are those primarily traffic citations, or are we looking at other type of violations? Do you know?
What I have seen mostly are traffic violations.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Mostly
what
traffic
I have
violations.
seen also, Mayor, is out of town.
Mm-hmm.
And what I have seen a lot is individuals with no driver's license. So this makes it hard to track these people down because with no driver's license information, it's harder to, track these people.
Right. Obviously.
But I know that Linebarger is helping us out, and they have more resources than the court does. So we're leaning on
Right.
them. And so they have a representative that comes every Friday, I believe. They come once a month. And I've been staying in touch with them to see where we're at. And so anyway, I'm staying on top of what's going on
Okay.
with the resources that they have and see how much they can do. But when, we don't have any information, there's really not much that we can turn to.
So, Epi, let's see if you guys can you and the judge can set up a meeting and bring Lineberger in, and y'all can discuss some of these inactive cases and see if there's anything that they can do. I mean, have them on here with
On
y'all.
board. Okay.
So they can be on board, and maybe they can give some recommendations of their own as well, see what they can do. And then between you all and Lineberger, y'all can decide, well, you know what, it's best to just kind of move past this and
Sure.
and just do something to clear this number out,
We'll do
But
that.
yeah, just get with Lineberger and see what they can do, what they think they can help with. And if they're in the same opinion that you guys have, that they say, there's really nothing we can do because of the lack of information, then we'll just move on,
Yes, that's in our plan, to include Linebarger, because I have worked with Linebarger in the past, or currently still working with Linebarger. And they have, like I said, they have a lot of resources. And so that's in our plan, to bring them in and say, okay, just like what you said there.
Perfect.
And that way, to see what we can work out. And
Perfect.
that way, hopefully by, when we come and report, we'll have, we will have a resolution. for
Perfect.
y'all.
Great. Thank you,
Because we
Judge.
need to move on.
Thank you, Judge. I really
If you have
appreciate
any questions, just don't ask me anything about July or August.
it. No, I think we're kind of, we know that you're just coming on board and you're still kind of um, walking through the weeds right now. So, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you and Epi are working hard on this, and we appreciate the work you guys are doing.
And, Patricia knows that my line is open 24/7, and she can call me anytime. And anytime she has any questions, I'm available. And so that's not a problem. So the communication is open. I don't want with that to stop her, in settling the case or coming into an agreement. And, just like you stated, anybody that calls and want to work something out, of course, we're going to jump on it.
Right.
So,
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
thank you.
And
May I have the excuse?
Yes, ma'am.
And just
Thank
to, if I can, Mayor, part of the discussion or issue with the software, to reiterate, is that the court had been operating under a software called FundView, and there was no integration or connection to Encode. So a lot of that data was never processed in our financial system. So what we're having to do, and we had this discussion also about one, we don't have that component in Encode, so it's going to have to be another component to purchase. And then we have to keep funding going for a while, at the same time, so that we can get the data integration, which costs a lot of money. There's a sweet spot in there where you can get a little bit of manual integration, and then you can also have the software companies connect up with that.
So, well, I think that if we have this amount of inactive cases and for Sasi and the judge and my murder can sit down and winnow that down to,
Right.
then we can start looking at migrating the information into info and it'll be less than what we have right now. So, you know, we can work on that, maybe hopefully next year, get on that. But, yeah.
She's coming on board and, we met, and we're going to also have a meeting, because I also had some other findings that concern me. And so, I'm gonna be working very closely with her because I feel that we all need to be on the same page.
Agree.
In the past, from from what I understand, reports have not been, given and, from a court, and so I need to look into that. And anyway, now that, you know, we're blessed to have a finance director.
Well, let me just introduce Miss Betsy Soto. I apologize. I started the meeting. Watch your head there, Betsy, with the TV. She's our new financial manager, and welcome aboard. She's got a lot of experience. She's worked mostly with big companies and you know, with budgets and taxes and she's got a lot of her education background is pretty extensive. I got a chance to sit down with her and for you all that know Mr. Bain and how he communicates, they were both communicating way above my level, but it's nice to know that she understands what he's saying. So welcome aboard, Miss Betsy. I really, I'm excited that you're here, and I know that, you know, having you on board, there's going to be a lot of things that you can help us with moving forward. So thank you so much for joining our team.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, I apologize. I saw you sitting there, but I didn't even think about introducing you.
No, that, you know, I feel that we're very fortunate to have someone with a lot of experience, and, and we had an opportunity to visit. And so, we just need to sit down and, start, you know, introducing, a lot of the things that the court does. And we need to start looking at reports. We need to, you know, really get into depth.
Right.
And what, the court does, and that way, I told her, you know, the good thing is that I'm a newbie and she is too, right?
Right.
So we're gonna be able to, get introduced into this together. We're gonna be learning it together. But whatever, you know, our court needs, or, you know, I'm gonna have proposals and where, you know, she'll be able to, get our court set, because from what I understand, there's no record of that, or, you know.
I think it's just the,
We're gonna get the court where it needs to be, and also financial, status, reports, whatever needs to get done. I feel that we're gonna be able to work together.
well, again, like you said, I mean, I'm glad that both of y'all are coming on board at the same time because we are open to a lot of suggestions to try to make maybe, you know, innovate. Technology is a big thing nowadays, and there's so much technology out there. There's no reason for us to be still, you know, using a pencil and paper when there's so much technology out there. So whatever ideas y'all have, whatever you know, see that we could make improvements on, you know, we are glad to hear and to listen to try to continue. You know, that's one of the things that we budgeted a little bit more for this year's technology. So, you know, whatever ideas you have, recommendations, you know, we're ready and we're glad that you all are here coming in from the outside with different experiences. So again, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge. Jerry, with the quarterly report from the Odem Maintenance Department. I don't know, Jerry Sanchez is not feeling well today, so I think, okay. The debate.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, council, for this opportunity for me to speak. Thank y'all for your time. So I'm the water and wastewater utility operator here, for y'all that don't know. So I conduct water samples and take care of the wastewater treatment plant. So I just make sure the water is potable for everyone to drink, and I deal with the disinfection process at the wastewater treatment plant. For my quarterly report, for all 3 months, all bacteriological samples came out good for the quarter. So what that is basically is testing once a month. We take 2 samples at 2 distribution sites, and basically testing for any microorganisms that may be present in the water and E. coli. So all that came out absent with the presence of chlorine, which is a key indicator of killing any type of bacteria that may be present in the water distribution system. We also completed our quarterly report for this third quarter. And what that is basically at 5 days, I take a residual, which is I test the chlorine at 1 distribution site for each day during the week. So I do that basically 5 days for 4 weeks. And out of all 3 months, everything came back good. Everything was great. At our wastewater treatment plant, I know the last meeting I said that we're at 75% operational rate, and I just want to clarify that. I meant the biological process. So the way wastewater is being treated, it's being treated very well. But mechanically, we have 4 submersible pumps in our lift station. Only 1 of them are working. We have 2 aerators that aerates the wastewater, and what the aerators do is we have an aerobic digesting system. So we got aerobic bacteria that basically eats the organic waste inside of the wastewater treatment plant. So with that aerator, I mean, that's essentially, I mean, without that, we wouldn't have the microorganisms that eat and digest the compost inside the wastewater treatment plant. 2 grit pumps, we have 0. So what grit pumps are, they're part of the preliminary process. So it takes away any grit, sand, trash, any type of substance that may cause cavitation, and basically cause damages along the line. And we got 2 clarifiers, we got 2 of them running, and 2 UV banks, which we have 2 operational, and we got 3 sludge pumps that are, all 3 of them are operational. So for total, we have 9 out of 15 elements for a percentage of 68% mechanical operational rate. So I just wanted to clarify that. I know that there are a lot of things that need to be done at the wastewater treatment plant. But as far as the E. coli samples, everything's been come back good. So compliance-wise, I mean, Joe Sandoval, co-operator, contractor superintendent's been helping me out tremendously. And anytime I have a question, he's there assisting me and teaching me. So I'm very blessed to have the opportunity to be able to be here, speak with y'all, help the community, and do whatever it takes to, further myself and along with the city of Odem.
I just wanna mention, Jerry just finished taking his test for, is it water?
Wastewater, yes.
For
My class D.
for his class D. And I actually, when you weren't in your office, I was kind of looking through your material, and it's a lot to it. I mean, so I just want to give you a big hand for getting through and passing that test for sure. I mean, because I looked at some of the stuff that you were studying, some of your study material, and that's a lot of stuff to.
Yeah, wastewater, it's crazy because a lot of people want to work in wastewater because they don't want to deal with the potable drinking side of things. Having that issue of, when you're treating water, it's different. We buy bulk treated water. So as an operator, I mean, you got to know your chemicals, you got to know, your process solutions, how everything works. So I just test the water. So I'm very fortunate. But as far as the wastewater, there's a lot of aspects. And you learn basically the whole spectrum of wastewater. And it's like, I don't use it day to day, but I mean, it's with me. So
Well, congratulations for getting through that test, because.
Yeah, and then I'm currently taking my seed distribution currently, so I'm not done yet, but once that's done, I'll be in compliance for the city of Odem, and I'll basically have the licensing to be able to make sure you are taken care of. So
Thank you.
so
Great.
moving forward, I know the universe got a destiny for me, so but thank y'all for giving me this opportunity. As far as equipment being down, we got Our backhoe, we have two backhoes. One actually got fixed and we're using it. We actually used it today. So with the newer backhoe, I believe we got it from a gentleman, forgot his name, but I know that the transmission and it doesn't have any, I think you can't park. But it looks like a hazard. It's been sitting there. The skid steer, chipper, and 3 of the older F-150s and the mini excavator. So as far as the machinery that we do have, with the sweeper, I got in contact with the company, getting scheduled for routine maintenance. Is going to give us out, get a quote on that. Try to get the ball rolling with the sweeper so we can start addressing, the streets, sweeping it up, trying to make it look good cosmetically because, when we're out in the field, in the sewer and in the water, people don't get to see, what it's like to deal with that. They only see, the cosmetic things. So moving forward, we're definitely going to do better. I know as a supervisor, I want to make sure that y'all are happy in the town that y'all live in. And as a supervisor, I want to take responsibility and do better. So next quarterly report, I look forward to addressing some of the issues that I have. So we had quite a bit of leaks. These are some of them, just off the top. We fixed up for 200 buck at Hancock. We had a 6-inch water line repair. I got one quote, and I'm in the process of getting two other quotes to try to get that repaired, so I can bring it up to y'all, see if we can get that replaced. It is a issue. Just because, God forbid, that starter were to go out, and then we got to look and see if, because of how outdated it is, that control panel is from 2009. So, I can't even imagine where I was in 2009, but, I wasn't even close to being an operator here, but, so yeah, it needs to be updated. So I'm in the process, I'm gonna be working with Sal to address that issue.
Well, I know that, and I don't know if this plays a role, but when I first came in, and we were having issues out there, and I went out there with some of the crew that we had, and there was chemicals being stored inside those boxes, those electrical boxes, like powder, looks like some kind of powder, like almost like the stuff you use in a swimming pool, were in little containers inside those boxes. So, of course, yeah, like chlorine. I don't know if it looked like that. I don't know if it was that they were maybe using it to pour it into the system there to try to break down the waste or what. But I mean, I had them taken out because I felt that that's what was eroding the electrical, because I know which box you're talking about.
So yeah, chlorine is an oxidizer and can, cause corrosive and calcified terminals. They could definitely, I haven't seen it, but it's clear that they would keep that in there. But more than likely, what they were using it for is probably to try to break up the sludge and maybe that blanket built up, maybe. But definitely, that is probably a contributor as well. but definitely going forward, I know, like I said, 6 out of the 8 lift stations, that's pretty good to me.
So that means we got a fully operational control panel. And you got alternating pumps. So every, every 8 hours is switch back and forth. The only other lift station, which is the most important one, is the main wastewater treatment plant into the lift station. So that's what, basically that lift station is what puts the wastewater into our treatment plant. So without that pump, then that water's gonna stay there and get treated. So only one, even the wastewater treatment plant with one operational pump. In case of emergency, we have an additional backup pump at a lift station on the east side of behind City Hall. So now that one's fully operational, the lift station behind City Hall. It's got 2 pumps, but in case of emergency, if that pump were to go down at the wastewater treatment plant, we got a backup from there. So we can pull it, we wouldn't have to get in line, calling a contractor out, spending thousands of dollars. You know, we do, we have a backup plan. Now, I do have 2 quotes, and I'll be working with y'all to try to see if we can get that approved so we can put a new pump at the wastewater treatment plant. I believe one was for 17, another one was for 15,000. The 5 horsepower flight pumps, they're the name of the game. Flight's top of the line, so they cost, you know, quite a bit of money, unfortunately.
And that's to rebuild them or brand new pumps?
So I got 2 mechanics that we work with, David Kinglow and Jamie Faust, and they both gave me, they basically said it's not worth rebuilding, especially if you got to rebuild the electrical. You might as well just get a whole new pump if you're going to buy a rebuild kit and then pay for the labor. So they said liability wise and in like basically it'd be better, and it would save us. So if something were to happen to the motor, it'd basically be like a liability standpoint.
Right.
Yeah, so they kind of suggested, both of them actually, to buy ones. And then all 3 of the motors, besides the one that's operational, all 3 motors are bad. So even if we got rebuild kits for all of them, we still have to redo all the motors. So, yeah, so that's unfortunately a big question.
Brand new also, you get the warranty.
Correct, that's right. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah. After that, I think it's like a year.
Like a year.
So on this lift station out where this gentleman's home is on Cook, is there anything that y'all can do at least temporarily to cover up the holes that may be releasing some of those gases out of the, I mean, obviously keeping the lid shut, which, you know, we need.
And that is a problem, and yes, he is right, he has every point to, you know, to his second concern. We do have deodorizer blocks, I'll go ahead and set 2 of them out here for you, tomorrow morning. But as far as electrical, so that's an actual 240 wire that's on top and running, because the conduit's actually broken underneath, so that's something that needs to be addressed as well. So we would have to get a quote for the new control panel along with getting the conduit ran into the wet well along into the control panel. So that was the issue with the wire being on top of the way it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, y'all been dropping those capsules for the smell in that?
So yeah, like I was saying, like chlorine and stuff like that, any type of chemicals. I know we use that grade 8, it was like kind of like we used that before. I need to look a bit into that because I know I was looking at some of the chemicals there, and you actually got to have like certain types of licenses to actually use them, and you got certain chemicals that react with different chemicals and that can actually be explosive. So it's kind of like a safety issue. So so typically you want to use the deodorizer blocks, and you just hang them in there, and it kind of has that fabuloso smell to it. So that's what they recommend.
Well, one,
Been doing that?
So they're actually very expensive. They're about like $350 a block.
yeah, but if we can get them, let's just go ahead and get them.
Until we
Yeah,
get the
correct.
situation fixed, I think.
Yeah, and we actually have about 4 of them, so we can make sure to get it. So for sure. Yes, sir.
Well, I know that one of the, I think it was Pico that was out there one time, and they were having to pull up, and they were saying that the chemicals that were there, they couldn't really spec because they were just in little like coffee containers.
Yeah.
They said they couldn't really specify what it was. He said, but there are some chemicals that are corrosive. You throw them in there, they're going to damage the pumps. He said that's probably why you're having so many problems with these pumps, because they're throwing stuff in there and it's eating away at the pumps.
And there was actually an incident off of County Road 1876 where, you know, they were buying chemicals and they were just, you know, you don't do your research and you put chemicals and you don't know what you're doing, playing with fire, and they actually caused an explosion. Thank God no one was hurt. But, so that's why I'm kind of very skeptical when it comes to that situation. I know I'm very young. I just don't. Yeah.
Well, in-
That was a different situation.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot,
There were no chemicals involved.
there's a lot of
Oh,
concerns.
really? That's, oh, okay.
There's always also the concern,
I remember that.
But with the chemicals added, it contributes.
I remember that.
there's always that concern of what people are putting down their drains,
Yeah,
you
never
know,
yeah.
what they're flushing down the toilet, you know, what they're throwing and pouring into their clean outs, you know, and then we mix it with something else that could cause, you know, a reaction. And
Yeah, you got
so
all these, different types of chemicals in your foods and stuff now, and now it's requiring you to use chemical by chemical at the wastewater treatment plant, you know.
Right.
I know I was talking to Joe Sandoval, and he was telling me he has to use all sorts of types of chemicals because the inorganic, or the organic waste is just not the same the way they used to be 20 years ago. Just because of all the processed foods and everything that goes into it, I mean, it trickles down to what you eat, and how it affects everything. The treatment. And it's the truth. It's
Yeah.
crazy to think of it, but,
well, so we can get those blocks to put out there,
yeah, tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I'll have that.
and just make sure that the lid remains closed when not in service, you know, and if there are any hoses, you know, any open line PVC pipes or something that maybe could be sealed temporarily with some kind of, you know, seal or something, just to try to control the smell coming out of there.
Jerry, on that one, when he's talking about, you got that what is it, an inch?
The conduit?
Yeah, can you put like a blanket over it to maybe to some
Oh, you're
kind
talking
of,
about the 240 wire going.
yeah, because it'll shred out of the way.
Yeah,
Because you got this much, I think, right, Ronnie?
Yeah, there's a 2x6 that
Yeah.
keeping that door open. because of the
correct,
cable.
yeah, so it doesn't.
And I understand that, you know,
Yes, so it doesn't
but-
affect on the-
Some kind of blanket or to make some kind of blanket to keep the,
So what I'll do is I'll probably go ahead and run a temporary conduit pipe.
yeah, there you go.
That's
Yeah.
probably all.
And those two pumps are working in there, right?
So there's only one starter in there, but
That's what I
yeah,
figured.
one pump's operational.
Yeah.
Mm.
So- But we do
And
have.
also, since, I'm sorry,
No, you're good.
on the backside of the concrete dealer, years ago, there was a hole that was made in there, dug way before your time.
Yes, sir.
And there was a water hose from my place taken in there. I don't know why.
Yeah, I remember
But-
that, yeah.
But that hole's never been plugged up either.
Oh, it's like-
It's on the backside now. It's got weeds and grass and stuff like that on it.
Yes, sir.
If there's any way that you could dump something on there, just to cover that up on the backside, because I know that there's gases coming up from there too.
Okay, I'll go ahead and write that down.
Yeah, what are those red lights in the pumps?
It's just to warn you that there's an issue. It could be an electrical issue. It could be that the pumps aren't alternating, that the pump's not working. I know that you're talking about the one that's back here. I think, is it still?
Yeah, and
I
it's
mean-
100% operational, but it's actually the line.
22, 21?
Yes, sir. That one.
That one's always on and it's sometimes being blinking.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a communication. You got basically a high level alarm and it's faulty, so that needs to be switched out. But there are operations. So typically whenever that happens, that's an indicator like, hey, something's wrong, you need to go check it out. It's crazy because I've gotten multiple, I've gotten Steve from Pico and he reset it and he's like, yeah, it's fixed, and then it started up again.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as they're functional, I check them every day. I know before, the guys would just kind of drive by and check them, but I check them every day. I check them at 8 o'clock and then I check them at 4 at the end of the day. So, because that's what keeps the town in service. Those lift stations, pick up the sewer and they drop it to another gravity manhole and it keeps going until it gets to the wastewater treatment plant. So, I mean, if one of those goes down, then you got people calling and it's not good. It's not good.
Oh, yeah.
So, but as far as the report, everything's going good. Water samples, wastewater treatment plant, flow light samples are going good. It's just one day at a time, trying to get things and do it the right way, and, logging our tools and, trying to start an infrastructure where we can move forward and we can build and teach the next generation.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is the quarterly financial report from Mr. Hernandez.
So I handed in your packets the summary of the bank accounts. This is probably the most accurate way to show you that we're in good standing financially. What we're finding, of course, now with closing up our books for for this past fiscal year is that there was probably still coding issues So we're still working on, like I said, wrapping up the old fiscal year. And then, of course, we're in the middle of creating
Thanks for listening.
the new budget. We have a draft in place now. And of course, in reviewing that, I have some, um, there's some questions about the labeling of some of these codes. For me, they're not specific enough. Of course, I'm working with Mr. Bain and of course now Ms. Soto, getting all that straightened out to move forward properly so that we can track a lot of this stuff. And that includes, an ADC budget put in there so we can track that information. Also, the component for the municipal court, which we don't have, we're getting a quote for that component to add on. Um, to increase our efficiency, also, we're moving we've signed the paperwork to move to the cloud-based version of Encode that will include the new also payroll and timekeeping system, which will also make um, time use in the office more efficient because we still are doing a lot of manual stuff as far as payroll goes, and that will include also ACH payments and stuff like that. So we're getting there. But just want to update the council with that raises were implemented the first full 2 weeks in October for our staff. I think a testament to that was that we recently had a vacancy come up, and we got a lot of good applicants coming in. So that pay increase, $15 base, did show that we were going to be, I guess, attract higher quality applicants. The deposit was made the deposit was completed for the new meter project, so that's done. The paperwork was submitted. We're just pending the master service agreement with HydroPro. Kind of getting Ms. Soto up to date with all that kind of process, and we're looking at that just to make sure some of the verbiage that we needed is still in there. We're paying vendors on time. And as far as I know, Mr. Miser alluded to some damage caused by Frontier contractors. We are keeping track of that, including man hours, and we are sending invoices out to Frontier to reimburse us for any loss. Once we kind of gather everything up, I can share a spreadsheet with you of what that kind of included. I also, if I can, just take the opportunity to let people know that if there was any sort of damage to their areas, their front yards where maybe the utilities were located, Frontier is still committed to making that as whole as possible. So if you do have anything like that, feel free to take pictures and send them to me via email. My email address is on the website. I am forwarding them to the project manager, and he's been pretty good about some of that stuff. I know it wasn't as smooth as we would like it to be, but I think talking to other cities, it's always never going to be perfect. So,
Right.
Other than that, you also have a check register for all the checks 5,000 and over since July to September 30th. So like I said, just some of the standard monthly payments, water repairs, so on and so forth.
So
So
what is drafts? One draft for 6787, what was that for? On the back page?
back page.
There's 32 checks for blah, blah, and then there's one draft for 678559. What is that for?
Hold on, I can. So the last page,
That's
Second
page.
to last.
second to last page. EFTs, those are
No, the draft.
the drafts.
One draft for, just curious.
6,785. I'll need to look
Ms.
into
Soto, you know
that.
about that? I just kidding. She can-
She's a home.
I just asking. I don't know. what
Sure.
that meant.
Sure. No, I can find out for you.
That's okay.
If it's probably in here somewhere labeled for what it's for, but I can find it and send it to you.
Not right offhand, no.
Okay.
Seven
No.
much?
67, it just says one draft.
It's right here. It's TMI.
Oh, okay, okay. Drafts of chair, okay.
Yeah, so just, yeah, Timur, so just so you know,
Oh,
what,
Okay.
all that totals is summarization. Those are basically the types of
Okay,
expenses
okay.
made, so drafts, yeah. very
Okay,
good.
good. All right, I'm happy.
Yeah, okay.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you, Mr. Hernandez. We'll go ahead and move on to
I know it's
items.
in there
Anybody
somewhere.
have any more questions to Sal, for Sal? All right. I know everybody wants to get home and see where the elections are, you know. Sal, discussion and action items, item 3. A, discuss and consider taking action to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on October 1st, 2024. And also the planning and zoning meeting held on October 1st, 2024. And the planning and zoning meeting held on October 29th. If you guys have a motion from Councilman Falcone to approve the minutes, a second by Councilman Candela. Any discussion on any of those? Yeah, let's see. So we'll move on to a vote. Place 1, place 2, place 4, place 5. Motion carries. Item B, discuss and consider taking action to ratify resolution 636, nominating candidates for appointment to the San Patricio Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Candidates for appointment to the San Patricio Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Candela and second by Councilman Alvaro to ratify the resolution 636. Is there any questions? I think the two candidates that we approved was Mr. Paul Bain and Miss Amanda Garcia.
So what happens after this, Mayor?
So this was just, so because of the timing issue, this was just the resumes and the resolution itself was sent to the CAD on time. So we just needed to ratify it officially because we were kind of a little cart before the horse, but it was okay.
So then what happens?
After that, the CAD decides
They
who
bring it to us, I think, don't they?
They'll vote on the candidates that were
Right.
submitted, and then they'll let us know. Right.
Yeah, they should notify us.
Correct.
Mhm.
So then we'll go ahead and move forward with a vote to ratify resolution 336. 636. My dyslexia is kicking in. Place 1, place 2, place 4,
Yes.
place 5.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item C, discuss, consider, take action to remove Becky Dearman from the authorized list of personnel that can pick up bank bags for Frost State Bank.
So
I
moved.
make a motion that we approve.
So we got a motion by Councilman Candela. Do I have a second by Councilman Alvaro? Yeah, discussion-wise, Ms. Becky Dearman resigned as clerk. She had some family issues that needed her full her attention. We hated to let her go because she was doing a really great job with, especially with the permit stuff. She was finally getting the hang of the permit stuff, and so we hated to see her go. But family comes first, and she had to step away for a little bit. So if nobody has any discussion, we'll move on with the vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 4,
Yes.
place 5.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item D, discuss, consider, and take action to approve a continuing education licensing reimbursement program for the city employees. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilman Falcone. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Huerta. We'll move on to discussion. This is just, as I mentioned earlier, our wastewater person, went through and had to pay out of his own pocket to get this class and to take the test and everything. And I think it's just important for us that, that we can help, some of our folks, get the training that they need. And if it requires them paying, obviously reimbursing them, for their
We
efforts.
had that all the time.
Good.
We had like a resolution that if they take continuing education to further their career while they're at the city,
Right.
that we would reimburse them.
Yeah, we kind of looked around, but we couldn't find anything. But
Yeah. And
things are
this-
hard to find.
And this
so-
also holds them in employment for 1 year contractually. So if they were to leave with the license, we would ask for reimbursement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they
So-
decide, and this isn't mandated, so if let's say, he says, you know what, I don't want you to reimburse me, and if he wants to leave, it's clear, but yeah, so but if you want reimbursement, you will have to be with us for at least 1 year.
Makes sense. I like-
That's fair.
So we'll move on to a vote. Place one,
Yes.
place two,
Yes.
place four,
Yes.
place five.
Yes.
Motion carries.
So what we can do is we'll look a little harder for that ordinance and maybe just sort of tie this in and figure it
Yeah.
out if we need to change or just add it, But we can also make it
policy.
policy. Yes, this is brand new. Epi had looked at it, or he approved it, right? So making sure. I thought he did, just making sure, right? But like I said, it just makes it a little bit more, like I said.
Yeah, like Jerry here, like he's progressive. That's good, yeah.
No, I'm saying that the training is attached to a form.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is good,
Right.
like it's backed up.
So this
Is
way,
there any way you could put on that, where potentially if somebody wants to further, like, mosquito spraying license,
Mhm.
the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's on,
Things like that.
yes,
Is there a section, I haven't read it.
sure.
Is there a section where they can come before the council or you
Mhm.
to see if they can get paid a little bit more? If they take
Oh,
on
like a
that-
stipend.
Oh, that would be a separate issue, but yes, we can definitely look at that. I know that
Yeah.
I know that we created a contingency line item for myself, and that was for raises as well.
We don't want to say, well, you got the license on your own, you didn't tell us, so
yeah,
sorry.
what, yeah, like
So-
Jerry Sanchez actually got his license to herbicide.
He keeps up with the mosquitoes as well. So, but on here it is, it's continuing education units, licensing and certification. So if they happen to do, I mean, we should be paying for those things.
Right.
And that was another part of this that we'll probably bring back is when we pay for that license, because it's tied to the person. That person at that point can go.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is also figure out a legal way to tie them in with that. So that we're not paying outright and then they're taken off. So, but we need
Yeah, I
to.
think one of the things that I would like to see is one of our maintenance guys get like pest control or whatever it's called. I don't know what license you need for that. So because right now we have a contract with somebody who comes and sprays all the buildings. If we had our own person, so
Mhm.
I mean, I think that would be also a place to save. So if we don't have any more discussion on the item to approve the continuing education licensing reimbursement program, we'll move with a vote. Place one,
Yes.
place two, place four,
Yes.
place five.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item E, man. Discuss, consider, and take action to approve Resolution 637, creating a policy for the performance evaluation of the city administrator. You'll see a copy of the resolution there. Do I have a motion? Okay. No motion. This is to set up an evaluation process for the city administrator. If we want a motion to discuss, we can just discuss and then decide if we want to take action. I can read a little bit on, we want to try to have a performance evaluation for the to be consistent and fair, to evaluate the city administrator's position without prejudice, having something in place that we can follow. Since we have no motion, the motion dies. Item F, discuss, consider, and take action regarding staggered election cycles.
Does he have like a regular evaluation or is this a separate?
Every year, right? It's in an handbook.
This is like something different?
What the whole purpose of this is to have a consistent process to evaluate. So like that, at some point, we have a new council, a new mayor. They can't decide to just right now, the way the policy is, I mean, I could go ahead and evaluate Sal and just, hey, he's my buddy. I'm going to evaluate him, give him all fives, This way, there's a consistent and fair way that that everyone going forward has to follow to assess the city administrator's position and not just randomly with prejudice, being, evaluated with prejudice, you know, just being more consistent. So that was the purpose of that. Yeah. It already died, so. Well, the Councilman Alvaro asked a question. So
Yes.
item F, discuss, consider, and take action regarding staggered election cycles for the mayor and city council. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the staggered cycle for the mayor and council. Well, it'd be just council only, right?
Right, it's just
Not the mayor. it'd be
regarding,
council.
yeah. So I have a motion by
Council.
Councilman Falcone to discuss, consider, and take action regarding staggered election cycles for the mayor and council members. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Huerta, and we'll open it up to discussion. I think we discussed this at a previous council
Yeah, like,
meeting.
Yeah, like Jesse said, it's only the five council that draws straws. The way we did it to get everybody together was because of the Senate Bill 100 back in the day. They didn't have enough money to put machines everywhere. So they said, well, you either go in the November election with everybody else, or you have your own, but everybody has to run together. So we chose to draw straws. Three of them would draw straws to go ahead and seek 1 year for free. They didn't have to run. So
I'll make a motion to do 1, 3, 5.
Like,
oh, it don't matter to me, but
1 through
oh,
5.
so doing, I mean, I think you're talking about like doing it like odd and even. So
Yeah.
like next year's an odd year, even,
25th, that'd be
odd
1,
year.
3, 5,
and
and
it's
the
the
next one,
26th.
which would make him run, right? Would that be
well,
right?
he runs automatically. The mayor automatically just runs, isn't it?
But when would he
basically-
run again?
Oh, he's still running again in 2025.
So he would still run on the 2-year cycle. I mean,
Right.
on the
On a 2-year.
so if we did it on staggered, then it would be, if we did odds and evens, so next year's an odd numbered year. So that would be 1, 3, 5, and the mayor would run.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then on even years, it would just be
Two-
2 and 4.
Well, you know, I like that one.
Or-
I just kidding.
The
I
mayor
mean,
goes
it
with
doesn't-
council,
So then the mayor would go with 2 and 4.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
I
None of
mean,
this, but that's the way you want 1, 3, and 5 to do what now? To
Run in 25, but you said the mayor's get. I got a feeling that.
I mean, I think that's less confusing
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
citizens. I mean,
yeah.
the citizens will know, okay, well, it's the 25th, so it's an odd
I'll be the
number.
so
So the odd numbers so we're voting on place 1, 3, and 5. And then on the even years, they know they're
2, 4, 2, 4 mayor.
2, 4 mayor are
2
running.
and 4 in the mayor. 'Cause I think it's 2 in the mayor, and then
Yes.
the other 3.
right.
So can
Yeah.
we do it like the mayor 1, 3, 5 on the 25th
That'd
and
be-
26, 2, 4 mayor? Right? That
I
correct?
mean, that's what you said, like
Yeah.
odd and even,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
You'd have to
Yeah.
run twice, like
Yeah, he
a
would
year
run.
later.
Hmm.
No, because then the mayor would
The mayor
only be
would
running
still
one
have to
term.
run.
Yeah,
It would only be,
yeah, one term. You'd be serving one term.
1 year.
So it wouldn't work like that.
No, because you get,
He'd either run either,
So the mayor has to run every 2 years.
right.
every 2
Unless
years.
you draw the 5 straws. I mean, that's the 5 council.
yeah, we'll have to do that.
Because I think the mayor runs, the way I understand, the mayor would run with 2 council members.
Yeah.
Right? And then the other 3 council members run
Right.
together.
So you draw
Either 2 and 4 run
either
in
two, you draw
25.
for the 3 to go ahead and extend their year, or you draw for 2, or the ones that are gonna run. So however you want to word it.
Yeah, because remember, then it's gonna get staggered. So in 26, let's say 2 and 4 and the mayor run in 25. In 26, the other 3 would run and not the mayor. And then come in 27, 2 and the mayor would run again. And then the cycle
So-
starts.
When you say draw straws, I mean,
Names.
just
Who
draw
runs?
names.
Yeah, out of the 5, let's say, so we decide to have the 3 people that'll go ahead and get an extra year.
Yeah.
So let's say, Yolanda gets it, Elizabeth gets it, Jesse gets it, then me and Isaac run with you.
So it's not really drawing
It-
straws. We're just gonna, like,
You're
you guys would
drawing.
draw, picking
Names.
names,
Places.
places for like next year.
You're drawing places.
For
Because
next
let's
year.
say
Whatever.
I decided to run in my position, it's that place.
Right, okay, so
Yeah.
it's places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds fine.
Doesn't matter to me.
Because
Mhm.
it never has been
No.
place 135.
No.
Yeah,
It's always been.
Yeah, it's too, yeah.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, can that be done like today since Isaac's not here, or
Uh,
would we
Me,
have
that
to do a
involves
special?
him,
Well, I think we can pass it and then just draw the names. It doesn't matter when
In
we draw
December,
names.
the
Okay.
December meeting.
Basically, you're already voting to go ahead and do it because it's on there to take action.
Right,
We'll do a December meeting, we can draw in December.
yeah.
And we could draw. To go to the election, people say.
This is what we're gonna do. Yeah, I think it would be better to wait for Isaac to be, there's also to participate as well, so, well,
I
that,
think you would be for Saturday.
y'all can take action and approve it. You're just calling for a standard. And then that's all.
Get back and say, okay, this one name, let's see who's gonna.
You can always need to check with the election purpose, you know, assuming.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
I think that's 120 pages.
There's not enough time to call in
Okay.
and say.
Well, call her now.
We want to
She's-
stagger.
Hey, hey, call her now,
Okay.
see if she's busy.
No. Yeah, well,
Family Pie.
I know.
Family Pie's struggling. It's like,
But I
Yeah.
think then call and ask her, like, when would we need to draw?
right,
I would say
exactly.
the sooner the better, at least.
Yeah,
At
I
least
think
do it in
so.
December.
December.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so,
I know like it before, like the first couple weeks of December, because I did speak with I forgot her name now, Pam, and we met for a little while and we talked about like early December is when we need to start talking about the election in May.
Yeah.
So in December, I think I don't know, December, I could be wrong. December 16th was a deadline for just I guess saying like we're gonna have an election. So if we have a
Okay.
meeting before
Well,
that,
we gotta have
and
election.
I'll-
We're gonna have
We're
election.
gonna have an election.
Yeah, we're gonna have election.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna have
But
election.
we want to know.
What
the
places, yeah,
timeframe
yeah.
is to stagger.
Mhm.
right,
No, we're gonna have
Okay.
election for sure, May.
yeah, so I think,
Do we also need to have the reauthorization of the sales tax, street sales tax?
yes,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that one's next year for sure.
Have we approved that ordinance again?
I thought we did.
We'll have to look. I thought we did.
You did,
Yeah.
you did, but it was for this year, 2024.
To do it in November.
Right. So we're not and then after Councilman Huerta kind of found some documentation and
So we're
Let-
going
let
on
us,
to
you know.
something else now.
oh yeah,
So
that's true.
let's stay on here, so we're
So
gonna go
basically,
ahead,
yeah, that's my motion.
yeah, so we'll,
Staggered it.
I have
December
a
vote.
motion to take action regarding staggered election cycles for the mayor and the council members. We're gonna move forward with a vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 4,
Yes.
place 5.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 4, non-action items, discuss the dates for a workshop to discuss ambulance service for the city. I think we just got some information I saw in an email. Sal? There was an email that I saw that.
So yeah, so we Epi and Daniel Gillespie were kicking back just a temporary month to month to get us to the end of December. And then at this point, like we need to, and actually, Councilman Dominguez was encouraging us to do a workshop, and I thought it was a good idea to kind of just make sure that we're on the same page to move forward with the RFP or RFQ, so that we can go ahead and get everything kind of situated, so that before December ends, we have a new contract in place with whoever.
So Thanksgiving's right around the corner, so I mean, I think a lot of people are gonna be busy over the next couple of weeks, so if we wanna do something in December? Okay,
Sure.
so just let's see what we need to do and maybe schedule something for
So
December.
look at a Saturday in December.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Item 5, mayor, council, and staff reports. We went, some of our members here went to TML, the Texas Municipal League Conference a few weeks ago. I can't even remember how long ago. There was a lot of good information, a lot of things coming down the pipe from next year. As most of y'all know, next year is the legislature will be in session. So people who work in the public sector, especially like you guys, they got some surprises coming up for municipalities. But I think Councilman Huerta, you want to kind of maybe talk about what you picked up from there was a lot of information.
A lot of information, not only that, but networking with other cities and the vendors and stuff like that. So I'm glad that Sal was able to go the first time. So, probably overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can,
Yes.
I mean, it was my first time going, and like I said, it was overwhelming at first. 'Cause it was like, what do I do? You know, because, but you know, I was grateful for the council members to be there because I know Councilman Huerta and the mayor and Councilman Falcon and Councilman Dominguez and Councilman Candela, you know, were calling me. It's like, hey, there's a vendor where you got to talk to. And a lot of these vendors, like I said, they're of course they're all offering different services at different types of services that we could definitely utilize. Top of my head, I know that, and this is something that came from an EDC meeting with a potential partnership with the Lions Club was the term inclusive playgrounds. Which I don't know that there's anything like that around here. So I really would be interested. I know that we have some issues with the current playground that we have here, and hopefully in the future, what we can look at is more inclusive park equipment for children with disabilities of all kinds, not just physical, the ones you see. And they specialize in all that. And I think that the side benefit of that is that if we're the only ones in the area to have that, that will definitely bring people to our area. And secondly was randomly the last day that I was just kind of finishing up, some guy just kind of pulled me in and he started talking about service they provided. Basically, what they do is they do all the billing for their utilities through for Corpus. And we were kind of just talking about the procedures and stuff. So we potentially could be saving money by actually shopping that out. We'll be exploring that also to see, because I said we basically print our own bills here. So we're taking up a lot. We're spending a lot of paper, a lot of time, a lot of money. We're occupying that printer for half a day or longer. Sometimes it messes up. You got to start over again. It's not efficient. So if there's a different way, just shopping it out and we save money. That obviously they get better. They get better costs for mail. They also track down when people move, so they can collect. They help with that as well. So anyway, once I get more information on that, I'll definitely bring it back to council for review. But yeah, it was very interesting. Lots of good networking made up. Yeah.
One of the things that Isaac's not here, but he found a company that will take on the meters that are still good.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we might have talked to the same
Yeah,
people
set
too.
up, yeah.
Yeah.
Set
There are
up.
two companies
Yeah.
that are doing that.
Make some money, yeah.
So,
You're right.
but the other company didn't offer that, but they do, because we met with them, right? So all they do is take them and they chunk them.
Yeah.
And that's what they said they do, but you gotta understand that some of these meters are still good.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So if we surplus them and get 200,000 or 300,000 or even 200,000,
Shoot.
that's something that,
Help.
so
Yeah.
I think Sal has that information, that company, right? Or-
Yes. Yeah. After you introduced me, I got their information. So yeah, it was kind of surprising some of the
Yeah.
benefits we could get.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, I mean, honestly, if we did it ourselves, it would be such a huge pain. So again, if they get a little bit off the top, but we still make some money, I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I think,
Councilman Falcon, you have anything?
Well, it was a surprise to me when we were on the general session, the first, 30 minutes? My name was up there as a CMO and the city of Odem was represented. That's good.
Yeah.
So that's about it. And basically, Mayor, it comes back to the audits. We can't really get anything because we need audits. I don't know, you probably heard that. How many times? You probably heard that many times. You probably heard that. And you didn't go, did you?
Yes, one of the-
Yeah, we heard, how many times have we heard that? Audits.
Yeah.
So we good, but it was
Yeah.
very informative.
Councilman Candela? anything?
Come on.
Sure.
You guys pretty much covered it all.
Yeah, I think the other thing we met with an engineering firm that will actually go out and look for grants and financing for infrastructure projects, and they add the administrative cost to those grants. So we're hoping to try to set something up with these engineers and see what they can do as far as helping us out. Actually, One of the firms was actually kind of like, so have you guys been cited with from TCEQ for anything? And we're like, well, yeah. And he was like, well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good. That's a good thing,
We
actually,
want you.
because if you've been cited, there are grants out there because the TCQ wants you to fix. They want to help you. They want you to fix the problem.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of grants out there that they can actually help us with, simply because we have been cited. We may be able to qualify. So it was overall, it was very informative. I think the legislature's got some things coming up as far as annexing in and annexing out of the city, de-annexing. So, and that's going to be very, very something that we're going to have to kind of really keep an eye on how that bill goes through, because it could affect communities like ourselves. But overall, it was a lot of information. Like Councilman Huerta said, a lot of networking. We've already had some guests from over there come and meet with us here at City Hall. So I think we're heading the right.
Or they've been in contact back with me.
You still,
Yeah.
you still get them.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh,
I get
yeah.
a bunch of emails from them.
So
I don't know about you guys, I gained 10 pounds, but everybody tries to,
oh yeah,
they
the,
want to invite you to their function and they feed you well, but mainly it's because they want our business.
So what's it called? It's not a function, what's it called? A networking?
Yeah.
Networking dinner? or
something, yeah,
It's a,
networking
it's a
dinner.
name. It's networking.
Yeah,
You gotta-
networking
you
dinner.
gotta put-
Um, But I think I think we brought back a lot of good ideas, a lot of good contacts, and we're already making appointments to meet with some of those folks. So, there was no wasted time over there. It was great. I did get to ride in a Tesla Uber for my first time, and they're pretty nice. No, it was pretty nice. I got to say, I can't afford a $50,000 car, but it was pretty nice riding inside that little Tesla. It's roomy, it's quiet. When he would put his signal light on, the the side mirror would show up in the screen in the middle, so he didn't even have to look. He could just look to see if there's any traffic there next to him. It's a pretty nice car, so I was pretty excited. But I got to be friends with Elon Musk to get one of those cars because I can't afford it.
5-minute speech here.
Uh,
Put it on the spot. Put it on the spot.
I have just one
Yeah.
report that has nothing to do with TML, but
Go ahead.
you sent that we have 326,000 in the street maintenance.
You're going backwards, Billy.
Yeah, but no,
I'm just kidding.
but no, basically, I kept on saying in the beginning of the year or the middle of the year about seal coat. Sal, is there any way you can look into it? It might be already too late because
With the temperature.
the temperature wise, but there is another product that you can use. If we can use 250,000 worth of seal chip or whatever, it's just to,
Yeah.
we got a lot of potholes, but the ones that we already fixed the
Yeah.
potholes is we can go ahead and throw in that.
Yeah, we've actually, I think we actually talked to the county. We talked to the county about it, and we talked to another. But yeah, it was kind of a weather issue. If it's too hot,
If it's too hot,
the tar won't dry or something. But
No,
before it
hot
gets
is
too
good.
cold,
There's nothing wrong with that.
well, they were saying that,
If it's too, once temperature drops.
yeah, once it gets
Don't
too
stick or
cold,
You
something?
can't do it because it won't stick.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what kind of, there were
There is
some,
another
I'm
material.
sure it'll be right back hot here.
yeah,
I'm sure it'll be
there
hot.
were some issues with the weather. There were some issues with the weather, they said, so we had to kind of time it. So I think that, I think that's really something that we're gonna end up doing, hopefully in the next, well, I don't know, we can do it before the winter, but yeah.
Also, I know that Epi wasn't allowed to speak on the other item, but this is very, very important on the street maintenance to get back on there. That's the one that already expired.
No, but you mean the, to get on the ballot.
On the
I
ballot.
think we're okay. I think it's like 120 days. You work at a county over there, you know anything? For the ballots, get ballots on there? You-
Yeah,
Put
no,
something
I
on
don't
the
work
back.
for the elections department. I
Well,
work
you
in the
go up there and hang
office.
out with them?
No, I don't.
Well, David knows
No.
everything.
Not right now.
Yeah, no,
So-
I'll definitely be speaking to the county clerk's office prior to December, because December is that's the beginning of December is
We
when
need a
we,
special call.
Right.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
that's mine, that
Yeah,
go down the drain and we'll put it on.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, we need to do something. So if there isn't any more discussion, we're gonna go ahead and go to item
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
There's a motion to adjourn by Councilman Candela, second by Councilman Falcon.